Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this webinar. Our topic today is green heating and cooling. And this webinar is in cooperation with eurammon. I will present the speakers and say a bit more about eurammon a bit later. So my name is Christine. I'm working in communications at GIZ ProClima. And today I have the pleasure of being your facilitator and guide you through this event. I'm happy to have Dietram Oppelt and Tommy Angbeck with us today as speakers, and of course Ellen Michel as well for the welcome remarks. Let me start with a brief introduction to today's event. This webinar is part of the GCI 3 webinar series. It's called Green Cooling Webinars. And it addresses all the members, of course, of our green cooling network, but also, of course, as other interested parties. Some of you might know that the GCI project is coming to an end this year, but we will, of course, have more webinars coming up next year, 2026. Because yeah, our overall project ProClima that you all know remains. So today's webinar, I have already said it, was planned, prepared, and hosted today in cooperation with eurammon. I don't know, some of you might know eurammon already, but for those who don't, eurammon is a registered association of companies, institutions, and individuals, and they are committed to accelerating the use of natural refrigerants in refrigeration, air conditioning, and heat pump technologies. So, as always, you already know that. Before we begin, I will share some important technical details. Magnus already said it. The webinar is being recorded and will be published on our website afterwards. The chat will not be included in the recording, so you are really free to just write or type in all the questions that you may have, or if you have technical problems, we will try to help you with that as well. Please keep your microphone muted during the session. And if you have any questions, please write them in the chat. We will have a Q&A session after the presentations where we will then address all your questions, or most of them, depending on how active you are. I'm assisted and joined today by my colleague Magnus, who will assist with technical issues. Just reach out in the chat if you need help. To make sure that everything is working, I would have two questions for you. As always, we are always interested which country are you joining us from, and of course, what organization or institution or company you are working for or you are from. Please just write the answers in the chat so that we can see everything is working. Perfect. I can see the UK, Lebanon, Finland, Jamaica. Perfect. That looks really good. First of all, that everything is working. And also to see that we have participants from all around the world. That's always nice. South Africa, Israel, Germany, Belgium, Kenya. Great. Thank you very much. You can just keep on writing if you want, and I will just go a bit further in our session today. Let's take a look at our agenda. First, we will begin with the opening remarks from Ellen Michel. She's project manager here at GIZ ProClima, based in Eschborn. After that, we will have Dietram Oppelt from eurammon here, who will give us a strategic overview over the role of natural refrigerants. And after that, Tommy Angbeck from Alfa Laval Technologies will present the case study about the renovation of the European Patent Office in Vienna. And after that, we will have the Q&A session. We reserved 20 minutes for it. So yeah, you can just type in your questions already during the presentations or afterwards, or raise your hands in the Q&A session, whatever you feel comfortable with. But we will try to address as many questions as possible. Yes, let me now give the floor to Ellen Michel, Project Manager at GIZ ProClima, and she will kick off the webinar with some opening remarks. Welcome, Ellen, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Christine, and welcome everyone. I'm very happy we have 58 participants as I see it now, so it shows this topic seems to be of big interest. A bit of history to this particular session today. We thank eurammon and Ditram and Tommy and also Britta for volunteering to partner with us. Originally, there was an interest to already contribute to the Green Cooling Summit that we had in May this year, but as the agenda was really full already, we agreed to have a separate session. This is just to give you a heads up. We are also planning to have a Green Cooling Summit next year again, probably in May. And we are just discussing which will be the focus, and then we'll also inform you early on to then hopefully also have a very good participation and active contributions. As Christine mentioned, the Green Cooling Initiative project that is funded through the International Climate Initiative by the German Federal Ministry of Environment is coming to an end now in December, end of this year, which is a bit sad for us, but we're also happy that we had the chance to collaborate with a lot of partners, countries, and contribute to changes in the sector, to reducing negative effects on the climate, to promoting natural refrigerants, and we will continue to do so. We are continuing with other projects that we are implementing as GIZ ProClima on behalf of different commissioners, mainly German government, but also others. And we are also going to continue the Green Cooling Network. So the website that hopefully all of you know, I'm sure it's being shared in the chat again, will stay live. Please do access it for any detailed information on subsectors, on country initiatives, etc. It has a very rich library. And we also welcome very much everyone who is a member of the Green Cooling Network to stay active with us. We also welcome new members. And if you have suggestions on how to fill the network with life, what could be specific activities, we invite you to contact us anytime in this chat now or also later on. And if you have suggestions or would like to promote a specific topic for one of the future green cooling webinars, please do so. For now, I'm very happy that Ditram and Tommy, you're here with us, and I will not take up more of your time. I wish all of us an interesting exchange and discussions. So back to you, Christine. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ellen. I am pleased to introduce now Ditram Oppelt, who will talk about the role of natural refrigerants along the value chain. I've already said that when we were looking at the agenda. Let me just introduce him. He is Managing Director at HEAT, and since 2024 also a member of the eurammon Executive Board. He is a leading expert in international climate policy with deep experience in the UNFCCC technology mechanism, climate finance, and transformative technologies in sectors such as heating, cooling, buildings, and industry. He has also played a central role in shaping low emission development strategies and net zero roadmaps, and brings extensive knowledge from the international agreements that you all know, Montreal Protocol and Paris Agreement. Just a quick reminder, if you have questions during the presentation, just post them in the chat so that we can discuss them afterwards. Ditram, I'm happy to have you here, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, many thanks, Christine, and also Ellen. And it's a great pleasure to be here with all of you. And okay, so I'm just uploading the presentation. Yeah, so especially it's a great pleasure because I've been working as heat for a long time together with ProClima and also like before with refrigerants naturally and now with eurammon. So it's really good to be here. And then now my role is here to present eurammon. I'm just trying to upload the presentation. I hope it works with her. And I will give you a short introduction what eurammon is and what we are doing in eurammon. Somehow it's not uploading, so maybe I do it the other way. Let's see again. Try it one more time.
Worked before, so I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, it worked before, but I have another version, another way to do it, so I will try. I hope that works.
Yeah, it looks good.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, just maybe
okay,
try
this
in
is
presentation
yeah.
mode. Otherwise,
If it's not, if the slides are not moving, you have to tell me because that is the way. Sometimes it's not moving. So, can you see this first slide?
yes.
That's now the basically giving you background about some key members of eurammon. We have more than that, and then also on what it is about. So eurammon was originally established in Frankfurt, actually, and it's the combination of Europe and ammonia.
Dieter, your slide is still on the first.
Okay, so let me try. So is it moving now?
No. If you click on the presentation mode.
Okay, so
yeah, perfect. Yeah, now we can see it and it's moving. Yeah, now it's working.
Okay, hopefully it works now. If it's not moving, then let me know. Yeah, so, but now originally the focus was on ammonia, but now eurammon really with its member companies, institutions and individuals covers all natural refrigerants, including also CO2 and hydrocarbons. We have more than 11 global partner organizations. And in 2024, we merged with Refrigerants Naturally, and we have a lot of activities. And one of our activities is also now working on safety standards. Some of the key members, I think in total, all our members fully committed to natural refrigerants, represent over 60 billion turnover combined, and are present basically globally in all countries worldwide. So we have Tommy here from Alva Laval from Sweden, but then other prominent members in Germany are, for example, Bitzer, Gea, Danfoss, Günther, Mayakawa, also from Japan, then Johnson Control, Evapco, and also I saw Monika Witt here from Witt Kältemaschinen, one of the founding members of eurammon. So we have also a global partner network. One of our key partners is IIR, also supporting natural refrigerants strongly in the US. And then also we are proud member of the Green Cooling Initiative. And then, yeah, so eurammon, as you can see also in the logo now, merged with Refrigerants Naturally. So can you see the next slide? Is it moving? Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we have a lot of activities, and this is just highlighting some of our active engagement with members. So we have, among others, we have a Students' Day where we actively engage, particularly with universities, focusing on cooling in Germany, bringing the companies, the business together with the students. So I think it's an important event for both the students and the companies. Then we have our annual member meetings where we discuss also strategies and activities, and also like in the past we have done symposiums where we discuss important developments in natural refrigerants, and there was a Young Scientist Award on natural refrigerants. We have webinars, so we had a webinar like this year, for example, with Deutsche Umwelthilfe on PFAS, and then also we have technical committees that is led very well by Tommy, and they're very engaged. And on the website of eurammon, you can also find a lot of technical information on all solutions covering natural refrigerants with deep technical insights. Yeah, and then also we're present as eurammon always at the Chill Vendor, and then also important industrial refrigeration events. And as that was the topic of the webinar here, we also, like all the members of eurammon cover the whole value chain across cooling technologies in natural refrigerants. So you can say like on the compressor side, Pizza is working, GIA is working, Mayakawa with Kältemaschinen. So we cover everything with natural refrigerants on compressors and also on heat exchangers, Alva-Laval, Günther, Evapcore. That includes plate, gel tubes, evaporative condensers, natural refrigerants. Then also controls and components from Danfoss, Amazon, GF Piping. We have also lubricants for natural refrigerants, and then system integration where GR Refrigeration, Johnson Control, and Kreuzträger are doing the complete turnkey solutions. This is not comprehensive, it's just highlighting some of the more prominent members, but we have more, and it's more comprehensive, and you find everything in all the details on the website of eurammon, including all the members and also examples for that. I think I don't need to go into very much detail here, but what is the base of our activities is very much the European F-gas regulation, which gets a clear pathway away from HFCs. And from F-gases. So, like the F-gas directive is the first complete phase out mandate by 2050. And then there are strict limits on GWP for commercial refrigeration, and then also the control of virgin HFCs, and then going away from F-gases. So that is the basis of the activity of all the members of eurammon. And for us in eurammon, it's very clear that natural refrigerants are the future. And then I also don't need to go into much detail here, but for us, it's also clear that all the natural refrigerants and the different natural refrigerants for different solutions, they have superior properties in cooling. They have the benefit of having the least impact on climate, and then also they're having the least impact on the environment. So the combination of both the environmental effects.
Sorry, Ditram, your presentation is gone. Maybe you could just try again to upload it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you in the middle.
No problem. Yeah, so 1 second. Okay, so that is just on the natural refrigerant. So we are completely convinced that that is the optimal combination of both the best for the climate, the best for the environment, and the best also for energy saving. Yeah. And then on the next one, so we also take as all the members of eurammon that the natural refrigerants require special skills on both the manufacturing side, the installation side, the servicing side, and then also the end of life side. So, and all our members are completely dedicated to that and very specialized, covering every step in the value chain, from equipment design, low charge systems, component optimization, then also special skills for the installation, all the safety requirement for ammonia, for example, the toxicity, or also like the flammability of natural refrigerants or high pressure systems in CO2. So that is there, and then also leak detection for safety also, and so on. And then also the end of life, all our members are taking all the product responsibility, EPR regulations also as very serious. And then even though that has for natural refrigerants much less importance than it has for the F gases. And then also we fully recognize, and as HEAT, we have also worked very actively here with ProClima. And I know that is a very important topic for ProClima as well, on the whole safety handling of natural refrigerants, both on the design side, but then also on the certification side. And that is, I think, also part of the DNA of all the eurammon members. And we see very encouraging trends on the market side. So we think that the market for natural refrigerants is continue to grow from currently 1.7 billion to 3.1 billion. And of course, the regulation in the EU is a very important driver for that. And hopefully that will tip over. It will tip over because the Kigali Amendment already requires that also in developing countries. But so the Europe was always Germany front runner. So we are very confident that this will continue, will grow. So another important driver, of course, especially for the European market, that is less important for the other regions, which are more dominant by the cooling demand. But in Europe, also the heat pump market, both on the district level, but also on the household level, is a very important market with continuous growth potential. And we'll hear later from Tommy about that. Yeah, and Europe has about 40% market share on the natural refrigerants. So that is also like a great opportunity for European companies to take the lead on that, because we see that as the market trend globally. And that gives a very important edge to European companies to develop that market globally. And yeah, so the investment logic is it is the future. Natural refrigerants are the future, so it's less regulatory risk. The energy costs, it's the most energy efficient solutions in nearly all the cases. So 15 to 30% saving on the energy side. Yeah, it's future proofing, no PFAS, and also no phase out risk. So for us, it's clear natural refrigerants are the solutions, the F-gas regulation and the Kigali are the drivers, but then also corporate commitments on the ESG side, energy price volatility, the need to renovate buildings, and then also heat platform, and then also the social fund promoting this kind of transition are very important supporters and the market development. Yeah, and then on the case study that we will hear from Tommy, I think a very exciting case study on ammonia heat pumps and on buildings. I'm not going in detail because Tommy from Alba Laval will give us a technical deep dive on this. Yeah, so just to wrap up here, the key takeaways. It's a very clear foundation on the regulatory side for eurammon with the F-gas directive. And then its natural refrigerants are completely proven technology. Many of our companies are in the market for 30, 40, or even longer years with natural refrigerants. So they have a proven edge and combined over 130 years industrial application. So it's major, it's reliable, it's energy efficient. there are solutions across all the value chain, and eurammon members cover that, and there's a strong business case. With this, I would just ask for call for action. So please engage with eurammon, come to our booths at the Chill vendor, engage with our member companies, and help us together with ProClima and others promote natural refrigerants. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dietram. Of course, we as ProClimas can underline that call to action. It's really interesting to see what you at eurammon are working on. And I think there are a lot of synergies, as you already said, with our work as well, GIZ ProClima, but I'm sure with other interested institutions or people that are present today as well. So yeah, this call to action is important. Engage with each other. I think that's the goal as well of these kind of webinars. So yeah, feel free to reach out to each other. And with that, we are now coming to the case study presented by Tommy Engbeck. Just some introductory words. Tommy leads the international business development for the industrial heat pump sector within Alfa Laval's energy division. His team's mission is to strengthen Alfa Laval's global leadership by advancing sustainable energy efficient heat exchange technologies across HVAC, refrigeration and industrial heat pump applications. And Alfa Laval, we have heard the name now within Guntram's presentation as well, has been active member of eurammon since the 1990s. And Tommy currently serves as the chairman of the eurammon steering committee. So Tommy, it's really great that we have you here today. And yeah, please take over. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so then I will share my slide.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah, perfect. We can see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy to participate in this green cooling initiative. It's fitting very well with, as Dietram said, with eurammon and our targets. So, and also, as you mentioned, my company has been a long-standing member of eurammon, and we are committed to supply heat transfer solutions that facilitate sustainable solutions in the HVAC, refrigeration, and heat pump sector. Today, I'm going to present an example of an installation where we were involved, facilitating a building renovation that resulted in a top-rated, energy efficient, and sustainable position of that building. Yeah, I mean, generally talking, there is an important action to make our buildings more energy efficient. Buildings are responsible for about 40% of the world's energy consumption, and heating and cooling is responsible for about 60% of that energy use. However, by adapting energy efficient heating and cooling systems, as well as other clean energy technologies, it's possible to reduce energy consumption and carbon emissions in the building sector by at least 50%. I mean, important is to move away from gas as a source of energy or fossil fuel as a source of energy altogether. At Alfa Laval, we offer solutions that are helping to support this transition. And the trends in the industry we also see are responding to this. It's energy poverty is really a growing problem worldwide, particularly in Europe. We saw that in 2020 when the price on energy skyrocketed and some 36 million people could not keep their homes warm. And most important, there are many countries here that have still built their heating systems on gas. In there we have, I think, out of European countries, that it's 7 are fully dependent on that. And to reduce dependence on gas and improve energy efficiency, we need to implement a range of solutions. So renovating old buildings and houses with more energy efficient heating and cooling solutions. Strengthening the existing building codes to meet energy efficiency standards. So we talk about green cooling standards and green building standard. Connecting buildings to updated heat network, district heating network, providing alternative energy options. Implementing digital solutions to monitor and optimize the energy use in buildings, including larger systems solutions and things like thermal storage during peak hours. Installing heat pumps is also a way of reusing heat in commercial buildings and introducing cooling strategies in high demand regions to tackle exponential air conditioning growth and energy request. So these are the trends, and I'm now coming to the case where we have been involved. It's about the European Patent Office building in Vienna, Austria, and how this building was renovated. And in that renovation work, it was targeted to decarbonize the heating and cooling with a heat pump chiller, benefiting the natural refrigerant of ammonia. So this office originates from 1972, built in the area where, you know, you just put up large buildings to fit in square meters, but now we can really see that it had reached its end of operational life. It was very inefficient running, and those buildings built at that time had poor energy efficiency, which makes them uneconomical and harmful to the climate. Many of these buildings are therefore demolished, but although I think modernization would be better, renovating, keeping the basis of the building, which would be much more environmentally and climate friendly. So this project started in 2021, and it was decided to renovate the building instead of demolishing it. And it's, as you can see, located in the center of Vienna, close to historical centers and green parks. And the decision was to make it in line with European Green Deal ambition to have a very low emission from this building. So the target was to transform the office into a climate neutral, highly sustainable green hub by 2024, with a target of carbon neutrality by year 2030. This as Europe's targets. And the solution was to preserve the building and just keep the original concrete structure, already saved about half of the carbon dioxide compared to total demolition and complete reconstruction. On top of that, the building should be equipped with state-of-the-art technologies, including really 360 view on sustainability. How can you do that? Yes, there is a building code standard or a certification program, which is called the BREEAM, the Building Research Establishment Environmental Assessment Method. But you really look at a 360 view on sustainability. And by using this, you are assuring a really scientifically based in the work on the building. So it's the assessment is undertaken by the independent licensed assessor using these indices, which cover a range of environmental issues. Its categories includes water usage, energy, health, well-being, pollution, transport, pollution, materials, waste, ecology, and management processes. Buildings are then, after that, rated, certified as pass, good, very good, excellent, and the best, outstanding. The targets with the renovation of this building was to achieve the highest grade of outstanding rating. And this case now I will talk about is more on the energy side, where using geothermal energy together with the Erfurt PV system, and to look at the pollution side, where you focus reducing any pollution, for example, the use of ammonia here, which is a natural refrigerant that has a low ecological impact, and the total energy efficiency of the building. So the decision was that to reduce the pollution, the heat pump chiller should work with a natural refrigerant. Due to its outstanding thermodynamic properties, ammonia was chosen, which has so far been known primarily as a classic industrial refrigerant and is very seldom found in lower output range and in buildings. And the challenge with ammonia is, as you know, the refrigerant toxicity. That's why the system that was selected must be designed and minimizing the risk, the quantity and the risk of any relief. But anyhow, ammonia has so many advantages. As you can see, it's in the green corner, not giving any global warming impact or ozone depletion potential. And also, it is not containing any what you call, say, TFA or PFAS molecule, like some of the lower global warming synthetic refrigerants, HFO, are containing. It's also highly efficient, and which then can secure low energy consumption, and the refrigerant itself has a lower cost than the synthetic alternatives. So yes, so what happened here is that in the building vicinity, we are using ground source. So a system with 20 probes were drilled 200 meters deep into the ground below the existing second basement level of the building, and circulating a glycobrine that is used as both heating and cooling source. In winter, the glycol extracts heat from the ground as heat source to the heat pump that is heating the building. In summer, the glycol brine is circulated to the probe, being cooled as an input to the heat pump, which now is operating in reverse cooling or chiller mode. The driving force is two tailor-made heat pumps, and heat pumps for such duties normally can achieve very high COP, in this case close to 5. And this means that 80% of the heating and cooling energy comes from the ground, and the rest is electricity added. This is using a ground source is more energy efficiency than air source heat pump, and by that also having a lower CO2 emission, and of course much lower than with a direct gas boiler. And how low CO2 emissions can go here is depending, of course, on how the electricity is produced. First, have a look at the heat pump. The ammonia heat pump chosen here was coming from the producer Equans, called SmartPack L7, compact heat pump chiller system. So there were two tailor-made such systems supplied, and each of them contain two Alfa Laval semi-welded plate heat exchangers of type T10EW, integrated in the system as the main heat exchangers, evaporators, and condensers. These heat exchangers are particularly compact, reliable, and energy efficient, and ideal for such heat pump solutions where you want to reduce the ammonia content to an absolute minimum. Each evaporator has an output of 252 kilowatt and extracts the ground heat by cooling the circulating frost-proof ethylene glycol brine from 16 to 7 degrees at an evaporation temperature of 4. The condenser delivers 292 kilowatt of space heating to the building at a condensing temperature of 50 degrees. Further, another Alfa Laval plate heat exchanger, fusion bonded type. The exchanger delivers about 38 kilowatt of power and uses the gas, superheated gas at 116 degrees ammonia to heat the domestic hot water needed in the office building to 60 degrees. So doing all the heating and cooling. To fix the electricity part and be sure that we are not emitting CO2 from the production of electricity, photovoltaic electricity supply was added. It was mounted on the roof and on the facade. This is then a complete own green electricity supply, which in fact, after starting, we can see that it generates more energy than the building needs. So to operate basic functions of heating, cooling, ventilation, lighting, hot water, etc. So and you can see the building to the left here. There's also other things that was added, some wooden facade, some rainwater tanks, lots of plants, makes the building even more sustainable and help to save water and energy. Result, as you can understand, became fantastic. It got the top rated achievement in the BREEAM assessment. So the revitalized headquarters of the European Patent Office in Vienna is now one of the most sustainable building of its kind. It's with the outstanding classification. It has the highest rating currently awarded in the German-speaking region of Europe. The efficient heating and cooling installation with a sustainable natural refrigerant heat pump technology contributed very well to a part of the 100% rating in energy, health, waste, and environmental parameters. So very, very nice result. And thanks for your attention. I've done my presentation. To my help to make this presentation, I was working we were in contact with the European Patent Office, the architects, the IC Group Construction, Equans, who supplied the heat pump, and of course our own information as a compact heat exchanger supplier. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tommy. I think a really great success that you can be proud of. Congratulations again. That's really, really nice to see. And I think we are promoting the natural refrigerants as well. And it's always really good to see that, like you used ammonia in that case in Vienna, it's really like a future-proof backbone of sustainable heating and cooling. I mean, heating and cooling was also the topic of the Green Cooling Summit last year. So if you're interested in the topic, I think we have a lot of other materials as well on our website. We will post that in the chat later. So yeah, an important and interesting topic. Thanks again. I'm sure questions have come up. I can see some in the chat, so we can go over to our Q&A session now. I will start with the first question that I see in the chat, and if you have other ones, please feel free to raise your hand or as well if you want to. Otherwise, you can use the chat as the other ones did before. So the first question I can see in the chat is if the energy use of a building is often expressed in kilowatt hours per square meter per year. If this value is known, I think that's for you, Tommy. Could you reply to that one?
No, I have to check that. I don't have it. No.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we will get back to you, Mr. van der Hoff. Yes, exactly. I can see one hand that is up. Petter, you can unmute yourself and just ask your question directly if you want to.
Yes, two questions. Because one thing is heat pumps and reducing the energy consumption for the requirements, but shading and also other measures like insulation and so on to reduce the loads of the building. Has this also been a part of the project? That was question number one. The second question, what special measures did you make for implementing ammonia in this building? Is the system on the roof with venting to the atmosphere, or how did you tackle that? So to say.
Yeah, so for the first, as you can see, there are taken care of. I mean, when you do the renovation of such, there was only a frame left of from the old building. A lot of thoughts were on how we heat and how to insulate the building, and that's definitely taken care of. I can. That was one of the 360 degrees really parts that was so important, of course. When it comes to the ammonia heat pump, it was not placed on the roof, but there was, of course, safety measures like having ventilation and even, of course, emergency ventilation system that is evacuating any ammonia above any of the ventilation intake of the building. And the charge, of course, was reduced quite low. So yeah, but it was, of course, a very important part of it. Yes.
But if you have a leak, is it then vented over the roof, or?
Yeah, above the ventilation. This is what I got. Any ventilation intake, so it must be quite high up. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for answering. I think one comment in the chat from Alexander Pashai is also worth mentioning. I will just read it out that we are not forgetting this one. That concrete and other building components leak out various PFAS when the building is knocked down and sent to landfill. So as you did, like keeping the building has also this benefit. I think that's quite important to keep in mind as well. I see another question from Raphael to Tommy as well. Which is the charge of ammonia? What kind of heat exchanger is used to heat water? Tommy, if you could take over that question, please.
Yeah, optimized. This chiller plant optimized, as you can see, it's limited size. We talk about less than 500 kilowatt. We have a charge that is less than 25 kilo of ammonia. Yeah, so that was a question on the ammonia. Quite low. Yeah.
I think the other one is which are the most important safety measures keeping in mind when we're talking about the toxicity of ammonia? I think that's a question that's often coming up, right?
Yeah. Ammonia is a fantastic refrigerant. I think the most important thing when we went into this was to assure that we absolutely have the minimum charge. Then there are in every country. Okay, we have the regulations, and also the local fire department has to be involved to be sure that they know where we have the ammonia. The door is the room, a machine room. We keep everything in the machine room, and then this evacuation of the ammonia in case of any relief above the building. And ammonia is lighter than air, so in different from many other refrigerants that is falling to the ground and creeping into the cellar. This is lighter and will lift to the air, and then it's not long-term any harm to the environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Great. I see one more question in the chat. Do you have any figure on return of investment, as the investment costs were certainly higher as compared with a less sustainable, less advanced system? Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's 100% concluded, but it's in fact by having the PV and being self-dependent on the electricity side, I understand that the payback time is becoming quite much shorter than was in the plan. So it's a quite successful building. Then of course investments were higher, but we are not talking more than 5 to 10 years here. Maybe it's below. But now they have been running the building for this year, so we will have better update.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Maybe,
yeah.
Christine, if I just can to add, I think one important part, at least in Europe, also on the equation for heat pumps in buildings, is that the emission system trading is now also extended to buildings. So an important part to take into equation is also on the return of investment, the carbon pricing. So because overall, we think that like climate change will become more important, and Europe has the commitment to climate neutrality 2050. So the closer we come to the date, that will give more pressure overall on the CO2 price. So I think that is something also to consider always when looking into that for buildings in Europe.
Yeah, thank you, Dieter. Perfect. I have one more from Stefan Lutz in the chat. How much did the geothermal cost, and what was the percentage of the heating and cooling costs? Either Dieter or Tommy, it's up to you, I think.
I have not those exact numbers.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But we can gather those figures and then send it afterwards. That's no problem.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And the last one that I see in the chat: how is the penetration of this technology to technicians around the globe, especially in Africa?
I think learning from such experience can be very much motivating, and I don't know specifically for Africa, but
yeah,
maybe you know more.
Yeah, I can also say something because I know also ProClima is very active, and
yeah,
also
exactly.
HEAT was active there, or is active there supporting. So I think the training skills is absolutely essential, like for natural refrigerants, building that into the vocational trainings. And I think there is great progress there. So like I know ProClima is actively working with vocational schools in Ghana, doing curricula, and then also trainings on flammable refrigerants, and the same. There's also like a longer tradition in South Africa. So I think some countries in Africa are more advanced. But it's spreading. Of course, there's also still a lot of F-gases there. So, but I think it's very important to continue this training, and also the awareness of this natural refrigerants. And it can be, if it's widespread, it can be also savings. And of course, there's the environmental benefit, but as we said, there's also business benefits, and it can make a lot of economic sense to do that.
Yeah, thank you, Dieter. I wanted to say that as well. I mean, we have ProClima's working for that for quite a long time. We have the cool training, some of you might know, and we have specialists in our team working for the African region. So you can always like reach out to us as well, and then we can, discuss it again or give you some more information. Yeah. Perfect. I have one more question. If the webinar will be made available, I don't really know what online Ausgabe means, but we will have it on our website, and I will send the links to all the people that participated today. So no worries about that. You can share it then with your networks, colleagues, or people that might be interested and that couldn't join today. So I don't see any more raised hands or questions in the chat. I would like to thank you very much. You were really active. That's always nice to see. It was really interesting for me personally, but also I think to all of us. So thanks again to the speakers, Tommy and Dietram, and also Ellen for the welcome remarks. I hope you have gained valuable insights. As I said, we will have more webinars coming up next year, of course. Probably we will have one webinar, that's the next one in mid of February, with 2 companies from our green cooling network, Magnotherm and Performance. I don't know, some of you might know. We will talk about their activities with natural refrigerants, their products, and of course we will have time to network and brainstorm together to find synergies and so on. So we will keep you posted as always via our website or LinkedIn channel. And yeah, of course, we will be happy to seeing you soon again. And with that, in the name of ProClima and eurammon and all the speakers, I would like to thank you again for your participation. Have a good end of the year, and take care and goodbye. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.